The atmosphere inside the ring felt unnervingly electric, as if the air itself understood the danger that was about to unfold. Mike Tyson marched toward the center like a storm given flesh, shoulders rolling, eyes narrowed, jaw locked with that familiar hunger. This wasn't just Tyson the boxer. This was Tyson the executioner, returning for unfinished business. Across from him stood a man who didn't fear the storm, because he was one himself. Donovan Razor Ruddock, the Canadian powerhouse with the punch that nearly split Tyson in half in their first encounter. Most fighters stepped into the ring looking for survival. Ruddock stepped in looking for retribution. Everything about the rematch felt heavier. The crowd wasn't cheering. They were vibrating. Analysts whispered, fans held their breath, and even seasoned trainers couldn't deny that something catastrophic felt possible. Tyson's gloved fists tightened like he was holding back a volcano. Ruddock's stare was ice. He wasn't backing down an inch, and he wasn't here to run. He was here to collide. When the opening bell rang, the ring transformed into a battlefield. Tyson exploded forward instantly, his signature peekaboo style slipping under jabs, weaving left and right like a furnace hunting oxygen. Ruddock answered with monstrous shots, each punch carrying the confidence of a man who had already tasted Tyson's worst. The sound of leather cracking against ribs echoed louder than the crowd. Tyson's hooks shook bodies. Ruddock's smash uppercut could have split concrete. Round after round, they tore into each other with reckless precision. Tyson's combinations were brutal poetry. Left hook to the ribs, right hook upstairs, uppercut through the guard. But Ruddock kept walking, kept firing, kept proving why he was one of the few men brave enough to trade raw power with Tyson. Sweat sprayed like rainfall with every punch, the ropes vibrating. The canvas threatening to break under the intensity. As the round closed, one chilling thought settled over every viewer watching live or at home. This wasn't boxing anymore. This was war. And the rematch had only just begun. The second phase of the fight began like someone had turned up the violence dial. Tyson came out swinging with a ferocity that bordered on terrifying, unleashing combinations so fast that even the slow-motion replays struggled to keep up. Every punch looked like it could end a career, break bone, or shut out consciousness. But Ruddock refused to break. He didn't stumble. He didn't wilt. Instead, he absorbed Tyson's storms and answered with hurricanes of his own. Tyson lunged inside with hooks that bent Ruddock's frame, but Ruddock countered with that monstrous left, the infamous smash, a punch that didn't just land, it detonated. The crowd gasped every time Ruddock's glove connected, because the sound was unnatural, like a baseball bat hitting metal. Tyson felt those shots. You could see it in the way his neck snapped, in the way H steps stuttered for half seconds at a time. For the first time, Tyson wasn't just attacking, he was calculating. Both men stood toe-to-toe, ignoring defense, ignoring caution, ignoring logic. They were two bulls charging, two warriors refusing backward steps. Tyson's hooks dug into the body, folding Ruddock in half before snapping his head with uppercuts. Ruddock responded by throwing absolute bombs, punches that would have dropped any other heavyweight but Tyson. The momentum shifted dangerously. Tyson was landing more, Ruddock was landing harder, and with every exchange, the crowd sensed something they hadn't felt in years. Mike Tyson was human tonight. Beatable, touchable, mortal. The referee stared in disbelief, stepping closer during certain exchanges, half convinced he might need to intervene at any second. But neither man wanted saving. They wanted breaking. They wanted dominance. They wanted victory or collapse. Nothing in between. There was no jab and move strategy. This was a collision course. And as the round ended, both fighters returned to their corners breathing fire. knowing deep down that only one of them was walking out whole. The third act of the fight began with a twist nobody expected. The giant Razor Ruddock was now the aggressor. He stalked Tyson with cold precision, throwing thunderous lefts that rattled the ropes and shook the arena. Tyson tried to slip inside, but Ruddock's timing sharpened. And for the first time, fans saw Tyson react late. His gloves rose slower, his feet reset more cautiously. The monster was having to think. Then it happened. Ruddock unleashed a left uppercut so savage that the sound echoed like a gunshot. Tyson's head snapped back violently, and for a split second, the entire arena froze. Tyson stumbled sideways, blinking, shaking his head, trying to regain rhythm. The crowd erupted, sensing the impossible. Mike Tyson was hurt. Ruddock smelled blood. He lunged forward with another bomb, then another, raining down shots like an avalanche. Tyson covered up, ducking, weaving desperately, survival instincts kicking in stronger than strategy. Every second felt like an eternity. Every punch felt like a threat to history. But Tyson didn't fall. He held on by sheer brutality of spirit, firing back whenever an opening appeared. His right hook cracked across Ruddock's jaw, forcing the Canadian giant to reset. The ring turned into chaos. Two dangerous men trading shots that defied logic, conditioning, and human durability. Commentators screamed. The crowd roared. Fans watching at home leaned in closer, shocked at what they were witnessing. This wasn't the invincible Tyson anymore. This was a Tyson fighting for his legacy, for his survival, for his crown. Ruddock launched another devastating left. Tyson absorbed it, countered with a right hook, and the two clashed in the center of the ring like gladiators refusing to die. Neither man stepped back. Neither man blinked. They were locked in a bat. That felt less like sport and more like destiny testing their limits. By the round's final seconds, sweat rained from both fighters like waterfall spray. Tyson's chest heaved. Ruddock's arms trembled. But both kept firing, kept surviving, kept pushing through the kind of punishment that would have retired most fighters instantly. The bell rang, but the danger wasn't over. The fight was now boiling toward an ending that nobody could predict. And everyone feared. The final segment began with desperation in the air. Both fighters knew this wasn't going the distance. One of them was going down. The only question was who. Ruddock, still confident from hurting Tyson earlier, tried to apply pressure again. He threw combinations meant to shatter willpower, heavy hooks, brutal uppercuts, and body shots that could dent steel. But Tyson had transformed. The danger ignited him. The near collapse sharpened every instinct he had. He no longer looked human. He looked inevitable. Tyson slipped a Ruddock left hand so cleanly it was almost artistic. Then he came forward with a right hook that detonated across Ruddock's temple. The crowd gasped. Ruddock staggered backward. Tyson saw the opening and turned into the predator the world feared. He pounced. Left hook to the ribs. Right hook upstairs. Uppercut that lifted Ruddock off the canvas. Tyson unleashed a combination so vicious, so explosive, that it tore through Ruddock's guard like paper. Ruddock's legs buckled, swaying, refusing to collapse but unable to stabilize. Tyson kept firing. 3 more hooks, each more violent than the last, before landing the punch that finally broke Razor's balance. A thunderous right hand crashed against the jaw, sending Ruddock flying sideways like the man shot out of his own body. The referee rushed in, waving the fight off before Tyson could deliver another fatal blow. The arena exploded into chaos. Some fans cheered in disbelief. Others screamed in protest. But everyone agreed on one thing. They had never seen a heavyweight war like this. Ruddock stood defiant, even in defeat, refusing to fall completely. Tyson paced the ring like a lion that had just survived a rival's ambush. Sweat poured, gloves lowered, and for the first time in Tyson's career, victory felt earned, not given. This was not a knockout of dominance. This was a knockout of survival. A knockout that came after walking through fire. A knockout that proved Mike Tyson was still one of the most dangerous men alive. And as both warriors stood in the ring, bloodied, exhausted, unbroken, the world knew they had just witnessed one of the most brutal, unforgettable rematches in heavyweight boxing history.